Can't be worse than freaking Fergie.
All right, I'm here with Nick Gibson, who's Winthrop alumni and former track athlete from Winthrop, and also here with Andrew Hodgecourt, who used to play as a former college lacrosse player, and he's a head coach at a high school. And we're here to talk about like sexual assault and with male athletes in college and violence against women. So whoever wants to speak first, just starting off, do you think like male athletes like in football or basketball, like when they commit sexual assault, is it hidden away or like thrown away depending on like their status, if it's a big school or a smaller school? What do you think about that?
I think definitely the size of the school matters, and definitely the sport. As you've seen with you've seen with lacrosse teams, when sexual assault is brought up, it's pretty it's put out there. It's not covered up or anything like that. The players are targeted. They're penalized for what they've done, kicked off the team. But if it's a football player, maybe, or a star basketball player at Duke, probably wouldn't be the same circumstances.
I think it is. Excuse me. I think it is hidden as far as sexual assault is concerned when it comes to football and also the basketball team compared to like other sports per se. I would also say that usually with a lot of athletes, like the big stars for a football team or a basketball team, it is hidden as well. But sometimes I've also seen cases with sexual assault when athletes who were on the football team, but they weren't that star player. They were convicted of some form of sexual assault, and they got kicked off of campus, and of course had to handle like some legal issues with the law, of course. So I do think it is hidden, but it's kind of in a certain way. It's kind of a caveat of who you are. So,
and going off like what you're talking about, like the legal issues, do you think that normal people, if they commit the same type of sexual assault in college, do they get the same? Do you think they're in like the legal system, they get the same type of punishment as a star athlete would get? Because we see like the guy at Stanford and like all these other stars and stuff, they're supposed to get like, I know the swimmer at Stanford is supposed to get 14 years, but he only got like 6 months and 3 years probation. So what do y'all think about that?
Well, I mean, one thing that I've learned as far as law is concerned is a lawyer can basically get you out of anything. So with those situations, I mean, of course, when you have a star athlete and they're accused of some form of sexual assault, the football team, the basketball team, and sometimes even the university will hire some of the best lawyers in the country to basically get those kids out of that situation. Usually, when it's just a normal person, of course, if they're just a student and they don't have any form of like money coming in or anything like that, and they really can't hire a great lawyer, then of course, usually that's what's going to happen in that situation. But typically, I mean, if it is some form of an athlete or something, say for instance, if they're like at Alabama, like Nick Saban can hire just about any lawyer that he wants to get his players out of basically any situation, not only sexual assault but any situation.
I'd say it's different from the victim's perspective too. If it's a star athlete or any athlete who's committing the crime, the victim might feel more pressure, and it might be hard for her to come out and speak about what happened. Because she knows, or he knows, that they're probably going to face backlash from the university and maybe the community and other students around them. Whereas if it was like a normal person, you think they would probably come out. I mean, it still may be embarrassing or traumatizing to speak about it, but hopefully they would. You'd think they'd probably speak out sooner if it was a normal person, where it'd be harder if it was a star athlete.
And going off of like campus police and things like that, do you think like campus police take what should I say, like they hide, we talk about hiding like certain athletes. You think campus police should be the ones that like enforce like sexual assault prevention instead of hiding it, because a lot of universities, like I talked to this girl that went to Kansas, and she got raped by a football player, and she was a rower, and she said it took her a year to come out because she didn't feel comfortable. So what do y'all think like the university or something can do to like help these victims like feel more comfortable to come out and say this against like big athletes like that?
I mean, of course, the only way that they can feel comfortable is seeing some form of action. So I would assume, if a star athlete gets in trouble for some form of sexual assault, excuse me, then of course he can always get prosecuted. But I believe the reason why they don't want to come out and say it is because, for one, they're embarrassed, and most importantly, I mean, they feel like these athletes will kind of just get a slap on the hand and say you're going to get out of this situation. So I do kind of see that reason.
I would say that just like as in high school safety with recent shootings and stuff like that, it's important to increase security on all campuses, high school, college, at any level. Student safety is important, and really, I don't think there's enough being done. Of course, you see the blue light, emergency signals for a student that's in distress, but how often are the crimes like occurring near those lights? You think somebody who's bound to do that is probably going to avoid those areas. So I really don't think a button to push that signals police is really going to be effective enough. I mean, campus police can definitely be increased. I mean, they just have regular police officers running campuses in such large communities with a large amount of people in one area. It needs to be safe for everyone.
And last question: do you think like some athletes, whether it's like professional or college athletes that are getting ready to be professionals or have like this like big name and they're in the media a lot, do you think that they tend to commit sexual assaults or commit crimes that people who are the same age or don't have a name and is not in the media, do you think they're above the law so they can commit these crimes because they think nothing's gonna happen to them? What are your thoughts on like?
Yeah, I do see that happening. I do see a lot of them, of course, when they know they're going to get drafted to go professional, then they kind of go crazy and do feel like they are above the law. But usually it's kind of the other way around. Usually they're like targeted because, a lot of these girls on campus, or even if, the girl is like going pro and the guy sees the girl has potential of going pro, these like college / ongoing professional athletes, they're targeted in like another way that could tend to get them in trouble with sexual assault. Now, usually that's not the case. Of course, some of them do kind of break the law and do some form of sexual assault, but it's kind of like 50-50. Some of them are targeted while some of them just kind of go out there and like commit the crime.
I agree with some of what Nick's saying. I mean, this topic is very difficult because star athletes that are bound to go to the professional level are going to be targeted by a male or female student looking to take advantage of their situation. But also there's situations where you have a star football player, basketball player, any athlete, like you take Johnny Manziel, who do believe they are above the law and can just do what they want. There's no consequences for their actions. Yeah.
And thanks guys. We're gonna wrap it up, and that's our we talk about women against sexual assault, and hopefully like campus police or campuses or Title IX laws can be stricter, things like that, so victims can feel more comfortable and they can come out, and hopefully this will make athletes think and make everybody think, whether it's a man or a woman, think twice about doing sexual assault.